Here and warm welcome to Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul. It's always fantastic to have each one of you over here. Very warm welcome, Ayushi. Great to always see you. Vidyut Kumar, Ankit, Apurva, so many of you, Deepak, and it's fantastic. तो आज का जो टॉपिक है हमारा वो है क्या मार्केट को टाइम किया जा सकता है? If yes, then how can we club this time indicator, which we known as KST. KST is known as no sure thing, and that's a very fantastic time indicator. And we are going to look at why it is important that you need to understand the concepts of time and what is the correct application of time cycle. कि किस तरीके से सही तरीके से अगर आपने टाइम साइकिल को अप्लाई किया and how you can then club together with this concept of time cycle and then use it for short-term trading, options trading, and all of those things. So, and people who are there with me on YouTube also can join me here on the Zoom platform if in case you are able to do that. And let me just check across if we are live and we are good to go over there also. Yes, fantastic. So यहाँ पर मैंने लिंक शेयर कर दिए दोस्तों, यहाँ पर Zoom पे आ सकते हो. So very quickly let me share across होता क्या है टाइम साइकिल and what are these indicators that I talk about. Remember one thing very clearly when you are listening me or when I tweet across most of the time, it's very rare I talk about indicators. You might remember that very clearly. I do not talk about RSI. I do not talk about moving averages. I do not talk about bands. I do use those things, but most of the time I'm talking about price action, candlestick, 3 candle rules, and wave patterns or time. Now, the reason being, when you are buying or selling, tell me the two things that you buy or sell. सोच के आंसर देना दोस्तों. जब आप बाय और सेल करते हो तो कौन सी दो चीज है जो आप बाय और सेल करते हो? यू आर बाइंग प्राइस एंड टाइम बोथ. आप दोनों चीज बाय करते हो, प्राइस और टाइम दोनों चीजों को. बट बहुत कम जन है इस चीज को समझ पाते हैं. उन्हें लगता है कि वो जब बाय कर रहे खाली प्राइस को कर रहे. नहीं. अगर आपने रिलायंस स्टॉक लिया होता 2009 में और 2017 तक रखा होता, 2009 से 2017 रिलायंस हैज नॉट गिवन यू एनी रिटर्न, रेदर नेगेटिव रिटर्न. उसके सामने अपॉर्चुनिटी लॉस अगर आप देखते थे, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी very, very heavy. So it is very crucial for you to understand that you are not able to trade in a stock if you have not timed it correctly. ITC again an example. ITC is also again an example, and you can clearly see that the ITC stock has absolutely underperformed about 5 years, 4 years back. अगर आप जाके देखोगे उसके ऊपर तो बहुत सारे मीम्स भी बन चुके थे. And you might realize that it has been a stark underperformer. Post that ITC became a multi-bagger stock. ITC जैसा स्टॉक जिसे कहते हैं हाथी है यार चलता नहीं है, वो स्टॉक became a multi-bagger stock. So this is how it works, right? This is how the magic works. Muralidhar is saying, sir, how wonder rockstar, our wonder rockstar, Mr. Ashish Kyal, market जादूगर. मैं जादूगर नहीं हूँ दोस्तों, टाइम है जो जादूगर है. अगर बहुत सारे जन जो प्राइस पे फोकस कर रहे, टाइम पे नहीं कर रहे, टाइम पे फोकस करना कैसे है आपको ये समझना है. Whenever, so I'm going to talk about some concepts of Hurst time cycles. J.M. Hurst, an engineer who developed this concept, and he defined certain standard cycles. He said these standard cycles exist across the everywhere, and you can actually use this kind of a time cycle and apply it on stock market, apply it on intraday charts, positional, weekly, every time frame, and you can apply this on any and every time frame. That is what he mentioned very, very clearly. Now, when this was mentioned, he also started applying this on US stocks. Now, what I did is I started looking at US stocks and these concepts and started applying it on Indian stock market. And the limitation of his application was to the daily chart. I started applying it on 15-minute chart on the Indian market. And I started seeing the magic of it. So I apply it on the daily time frame chart, which gives me a little broader perspective. But साथ ही में मैं 15 मिनट के चार्ट पे भी अप्लाई करता हूँ. So if you realize that I have been bearish earlier, about a week back, if everyone is here with me. And I talked about your overall tone नीचे का है, market नीचे जाना चाहिए. But the moment Nifty reversed back from 21,530 levels, came sharply upside, gave a faster retracement about 21,650. That was the time I said, yeah, now the trend might be changing again. We might again go back towards the upper end of the range. And then it went to 21,840. It went brilliantly there. And 21,840 nikala, the overall view remained bullish and turned positive. Now, despite of, many of the people who are not able to change the stand, I always tell them one thing is very, very important. You should be able to change the stand immediately with a blink of an eye. क्योंकि भाव भगवान से, प्राइस इज गॉड, एंड अगर प्राइसेस रिवर्स हो रहे और टाइम भी रिवर्स हो रहा है, तो यू हैव टू चेंज द स्टैंड. So what I do is I look at the medium term time cycle like 55 days, but then I do not enter basis of that. I enter on the basis of 15 minutes of time cycle, because these time cycles helps me to get the exact entry. Because of this confluence of time cycle, you will be able to derive a very good trade on the option side. तो अगर आप options trade करते हैं और ऑप्शंस पे ट्रेड करना चाहते हैं, तो आपको कॉन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ टाइम को यूज करना है, आपको प्राइस एक्शन को यूज करना है, और दोनों के साथ में आपको कंबाइन करके ट्रेड को निकालना है. लेट मी शेयर अक्रॉस अ वेरी क्लासिक एग्जांपल ऑफ टाइम साइकिल which is on a 15 minutes, which I showed in my multiple webinars of the past, if you attended any of those. So let me just very quickly share across my screen. और यहां पर है ये एक चार्ट जो आप अभी फिलहाल देख पा रहे. On this chart, you can clearly see a time which is mentioned on 14th of Feb, 9:45 a.m. Do you remember this time, guys? किसी को याद है 14th of Feb 9:45 a.m. को ये टाइम डिराइव किया था लास्ट सैटरडे को अराउंड, आई थिंक कौन सा डेट था वो टाइम पे, इट वाज समवेयर अराउंड, I don't exactly remember. On 13th of Feb we looked at this time, if I remember, not Saturday, on a Tuesday, last Tuesday, and we talked about how 9:45 a.m. is going to be crucial. Now ये जब बात की थी तभी दोपहर के 4 बजे थे, जब यूएस मार्केट ओपन नहीं हुआ था. अगर गिफ्ट निफ्टी आप ट्रैक करते हो तो गिफ्ट निफ्टी वाज ऑलरेडी डाउन शार्पली, एंड निफ्टी फॉलोड एंड ओपनड शार्पली लोअर ऑन द डाउन साइड एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. But I mentioned that 9:45 a.m. we might start seeing the pullback, and we started doing that. On 9:45 a.m. started seeing the pullback. Now the price action turned positive by filling the gap, and prices started going up sharply. So it was around this level of 21,683, which is the Gann square of 9, followed by 21,750 levels. कि यार यहाँ पर टाइम से रिवर्स हुआ, प्राइस एक्शन ने कंफर्म किया, मतलब यहां पर ओवरऑल ट्रेंड जो है वो ऊपर टर्न हो रहा है. सो दैट अर्ली ऑन इन द रैली you got an indication both by time, you were able to get the time to expect at least a pullback, if not a rise. Secondly, price action confirmed it's not just a pullback, but it is a bigger rise, and that's what we saw. And from that point, low bana tha 21,530 pe. From that point of 21,530, Nifty has now touched 22,200 के आसपास. So अगर आप सोचोगे, nearly 700 points of movement on Nifty index has happened precisely from that point of time. Precisely from that point of time, और उसके बीच में भी opportunities थी. So for example, there is again an opportunity which is going to be tomorrow, but there is a way to look at these kind of trade setups. Along with that, one indicator that gave a very classic reversal indication is KST. If you look at KST indicator around this level, it was one of the best indication that you got exactly with time. Now KST होता के जो हमारे चार्ट पे आप अगर आप देख पा रहे हो, so Nifty is following this time cycle on 15 minutes chart extremely well. When it is not happening, you need to know when to cut short. But 15 minute chart पे it is working so well, and I have explained it to you कि कैसे इसे ट्रेड करना. This, if combined with KST, will result into a very strong probable trade setup. नाउ केएसटी और प्रिंग स्पेशल के में क्या फर्क है वो मैं आपको बताता हूं बहुत क्लियरली. तो यहां पर अगर आप एक और इंडिकेटर लगा देंगे विच इज नोन एज प्रिंग स्पेशल, दिस इज अ डिफरेंट इंडिकेटर देन द KST. Pring Special is a much more bigger time frame indicator, a much more smoother indicator, which helps us to understand the overall trend of the market and helps us to get that feel. Now, this indicator also went above the level with KST and the overall cycle turned up. And you can see both of these indicators together, if applied correctly, would have resulted into a classic upward trade setup at that point of time. Even if my overall outlook has been cautious, but these type of short-term reversal signals, if you can get by looking at these short-term cycles and entering it at the right time, you will be able to trade extremely, extremely well. So this is on Nifty. You can apply this concept even on not only on Nifty, as I'm mentioning, you can apply this concept even on Bank Nifty chart, and it works like magic. बैंक निफ्टी में 13th of Feb 3 PM को एक साइकिल था. We discussed about it on 10th of February. From there, from that specific level, you can clearly see a classic up move. Now, इस साइकिल के ऊपर ज्यादा कुछ हुआ नहीं, डिप लेट मिला, लेकिन जैसे ही ये हाई निकल गया वापस अपॉर्चुनिटी थी 46,700 के ऊपर बाय करने की. If you were listening me on CNBC TV 18 yesterday, I talked about the level of Bank Nifty as 46,700. If that is taken out, we are again headed higher in Bank Nifty. I even tweeted about HDFC Bank ka chart and mentioned how it is completing one of the 5 legs. So if you look at the entire concepts that I am talking about right now, these are concepts which will give you the much needed conviction in order to take the trade. What are these concepts? I'm again repeating. This is the concept of time cycle, where we see what are the areas of reversal. We combine this concept of time cycle along with the momentum indicator, which is known as the KST. We club that along with the little slower cyclical indicator, which is known as Pring Special K. When you combine it in a synchronized fashion, the trading accuracy and the conviction goes sharply, sharply higher. Now, ये जो KST indicator है, this KST indicator is derived by looking at a summation of ROC. ROC is rate of change. Now, summation of ROC का मतलब होता है, we take different ROC parameters and we sum it up and we derive that KST. Now, it's essentially a time indicator. When we say it is essentially a time indicator, it means that this specific indicator is derived looking at the time cycle. As I keep saying everyone that everything is governed by time. पूरे ब्रह्मांड को देखोगे आप कि आप धरती के मूवमेंट को देखो या आप खुद के भी मूवमेंट को अगर ऑब्जर्व करोगे, यू आर ऑल्सो बिहेविंग इन अ साइक्लिकल फैशन. इट्स ओनली दैट आपके ऊपर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नहीं किया गया, तो यू आर नॉट एबल टू प्रिडिक्ट योर बिहेवियर कि आज ट्यूसडे को आपने ऐसे बिहेव किया, नेक्स्ट ट्यूसडे आप कैसे बिहेव कर रहे हो, उसके बाद वाले ट्यूसडे को कैसे बिहेव कर रहे हो. इफ यू डॉक्यूमेंट इट, you will realize that you end up doing every Tuesday similar things that you are doing at the same time. Now, this is something very phenomenal. This is the reason if we individually end up repeating our process because of the compulsive behavior, because of subconscious impact, or because of many other things. Similarly, stock market is nothing but a collective thought process. It is reflecting कि सारे लोग एक साथ में किस तरीके से बिहेव कर, और इसीलिए प्राइस और टाइम को आप प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हो. नाउ बाय कंबाइनिंग द टाइम साइकिल कॉन्सेप्ट विथ प्राइस एक्शन, द एक्यूरेसी इंक्रीजेस, but it also results into increase of conviction. The reason being, if I look at a simple bullish engulfing pattern, I'm asking you, bullish engulfing pattern देखा या morning star देखा, for example. You see morning star many times. You see bullish engulfing many times. Now, where is the area of significance where it is formed? Where is the time when it is formed? So if I say that at 9:45 a.m. on a 14th Feb, there is a cycle of time which reverses up. And now if you see a bullish engulfing pattern or a morning star pattern, tell me, will it not add to your conviction? Will it not add to your credibility of that pattern and taking the trade and the action? Are you with me? Will it not increase your conviction to take that trade? क्योंकि अभी जो पैटर्न बना है वो एरिया ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस से बना है. एरिया ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस दो तरीके से निकलते. One is using price action support areas. Second, by looking at time support areas. When I say time support areas, it means that this is the area where time cycle is reversing back on the upside. And that's why the conviction increases sharply. Even if there is a lack of conviction, we get another confirmation by an indicator. Remember, we do not buy and sell indicator. We buy and sell prices and time. But that indicator which is derived out of time helps us to take that conviction or helps us to take that stand. Majority of the traders who trade wrongly are trading how? They look at an RSI. RSI went below from 80, it is 75. From 75 it went to 70. They say it is a sell market. Why? My question to you is, why is it a sell market? If the vehicle is going at a speed of 120 kilometers per hour, now it's reducing its speed to 90 or 80. Does it mean it wants to reverse? No. It is just an indication that it is cooling off. And when the time is right, the engine will pick up again. The throttle will pick up again. Similarly, in stock market, when we are in the momentum, you will see the RSI going towards 75 levels. When it starts cooling off, that's good for you because you will now get an entry. When it cools off and the time cycle comes, that's the area when you have to start again looking for a trade setup. So this way, if you use a 43-day cycle, you will get a trade every other day. If you use an 89-period cycle, you will get a trade every 2.5 days. If you use a 55-day cycle, you will get a trade every 2.5 months. So you need to decide which time cycle that you want to use and which time cycle is working for you. So आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ता है खुद की साइकिल और वो साइकिल को यूज करके अगर आप ट्रेड निकालते हो, it works fabulously well. And will it work only in the uptrend? There are a lot of questions that comes up. It works beautifully in the uptrend. Okay? क्योंकि मार्केट रैली होता है, साइडवेज होता है, डिप आता है, साइकिल आता है, रिवर्सल मिलता है. It works beautifully in the uptrend. But will it work in the downtrend also? Yes. There is a way to apply certain concepts of cycle, which I call it as FLD, which can give you an indication of a downtrend, which I call it as valley trend lines. Yes, there is a way in which the trend line needs to be plotted basis of cycle. And that is a valley trend line. That is what you need to know. You can identify a reversal on the downside if the swing low of time support is broken. Swing low of time support का मतलब होता है अगर प्राइसेस ने लो ब्रेक कर दिया जहां से वो निकला था टाइम सपोर्ट से, तो वहां पर आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो रिवर्सल ऑन द नेगेटिव साइड ऑल्सो. So there are multiple ways in which you can do this. Now, if you are an options trader, can I say the most important thing that you have to trade when you are trading options and is time and momentum. Momentum is given by KST indicator. Time is given by time cycle. Overall trend indication is given by Pring Special. And price action will give you exactly when to enter. Now, this is how we combine all of these things together and form a complete trading system, which is known as Kaal Chakra. Kaal Chakra is, the Kaal Chakra is, the meaning of Kaal is, Kala means time. Kaal also means space in Sanskrit. यहाँ पर तो खाली काल हम टाइम के लिए ले रहे. Kaal means a huge. If you look at the entire universe, यहाँ पर अगर आप देखेंगे, is most of it is black space. Okay, that's known as Kaal. Within this Kaal, there is an element of time that is playing. Okay, within this element of time that is playing, We are cyclical in that time period. I'm not sure if you're getting it. It's not philosophy. It's a pure science. I'm talking about a pure scientific approach towards everything that works. If time does not exist, there is nothing that can exist on in the universe. पूरे ब्रह्मांड में कुछ भी exist नहीं हो सकता अगर time exist नहीं हो सकता है. कैसे? Now यहां पर अगर आप देखोगे बहुत क्लियरली, इफ यू हैव टू मूव फ्रॉम वन पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी, इट मीन्स दैट यू नीड टू हैव time to move from one point A to point B. If there is no time, you cannot move from one point A to point B, which means the 2 point does not even exist. It is only point A and point B that exist together at that point of time. It does not exist because there is no time existing. सोचना कभी इस बात को. Even if it's a fraction of a second, that has to exist. Time has to exist for that, for movement, which means there is singularity. There is no time escape, which means it's a singularity. तो इसका सबका मतलब क्या हुआ अंत में? स्टॉक मार्केट में क्या बता रहे यार, क्या पढ़ा रहे, साइंस आ गया, स्पेस आ गया, हर चीज आ गया. वही तो मैं कहने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं आपसे कि टाइम इज द लिंकेज फॉर एवरी मूवमेंट दैट हैपेंस and every existence that happens. Don't you think time will be the linkage even in stock market? But it is the most underrated indicator that anyone is following. People do not look at time. People only look at price. Rather than price also, people only look at indicators. What I am trying to tell you is first price and time, then indicators, and then you take a trade. That is the logical sequence you have to follow. But if you follow any other wrong sequence, you will not be able to trade correctly. You will not be able to trade well. तो ये सारी चीजें हैं दोस्तों. So let's go back to Kaal Chakra. Kaal means time, as I said, and Chakra is cycle, which means time cycle. And it's repeating at every different level of time cycle. If you want to grasp this aspect of Kaal Chakra, we are having a session of 2 days over the weekend, which is on 24th and 25th of February, which is this weekend. And we are going to talk about how this Kaal Chakra is going to help you to take a trade with a complete trade setup. The session is going to be from 10 to 4. I just now shared across an example of how this short-term time cycle is going to be moving across the space of charts. And if you are able to enter correctly on one of the time cycle, you can make a killing. If you entered incorrectly on one of the time cycle, you just end up making a little loss. If you keep doing this process, you will be able to make money. The reason I'm able to tell you this with so much conviction or confidence is because I'm using it personally to trade options. Especially if you are an option seller, this can be a miraculous way of looking at trading. I'm telling you, if you are someone who is looking forward to generate that passive source of income by options trading, you need to understand the concept of time, and you will be blown away how miraculously it works. And when it does not work, take a small hit. I'm not claiming it's 100%. When it works, make a killing. When it does not work, take a small hit. If you keep doing that process, you will end up making a lot of money. But you have to be disciplined. Okay, it is very, very crucial. So what are we going to look at it? So there are many questions. Neeraj is saying that, sir, you are really great. Your way of explaining is marvelous. I'm joining for 24th and 25th. And he's from Brazil. Kya baat hai yaar. I speak at China also. People are joining from Brazil. Such a huge time difference, but that's the determination that is required. And that is how it works. And that is how you should be looking at every aspect of Kaal Chakra. So let me now very quickly explain it to you. For all the people who are onboarded for Kaal Chakra, what are you going to get, how you have to follow the process. So the process of Kaal Chakra is you will be getting a pre-session video. You have already got a pre-session video, and once you have got the pre-session video, and once you are looking at that, one you will understand how to plot the cycles. Wow, you will know how to go about it, and you will know how to look at it in a pre-session video. Now, after that is done, you will have to then go through the bonus videos that I have given it across to understand some aspects of price and time. Once you have gone through that, we will start on day one of Kaal Chakra at 10 a.m., where we will be looking at these concepts of time from stock market perspective. उसके थोड़े rules होते हैं, थोड़े characteristics होते हैं, वो हमें समझना पड़ेगा. That I will explain it to you. Once you have gone through that concept, we will start applying that on stocks. We'll start applying that on indices, and we'll start searching for cycles. From which point to start, how to start, how much period to take, will be defining using a systematic scientific method that is given by J.M. Hurst. We'll be using that method. Then on day two, we are going to use that system which we identified the cycle to increase our conviction. We'll club it with momentum indicator, which is known as KST. We'll combine it Pring Special K to identify bigger cycles. And we will also introduce, which is known as a Bollinger Band centered moving average. Centered Bollinger Bands are not moving average. You will use centered moving average. Looking at centered moving average, we will derive cycles, and we will look at centered Bollinger Bands also, which is again like a shifted moving average and 2 standard deviation. ये सारी चीजें मैं बहुत ही simple way से आपको explain करूंगा. Once you have done that, you will be able to then get a complete trade setup, जिसके steps मैं आपको लिखाऊंगा. We'll look at each of these trade setups, how we club Hurst time cycles, how we look at the FLD indicator to forecast price looking at time. Price को forecast किया जा सकता है time को देख के. There is a way to plot a trend line basis of time. सोचो, ट्रेंड लाइन प्लॉट करने के लिए भी टाइम साइकिल पता होना चाहिए, ऐसा एक कॉन्सेप्ट है. तो टाइम, मैं वही तो कह रहा हूं, हर चीज एग्जिस्ट करती है टाइम के कारण. So that's where we are going to look at the time cycle, and we are going to plot the time cycle. We are going to look at the valid trend line basis of that. Post that, we will be then combining with the Gann square of 9 also as an indicator, which will give us the levels. If you would have checked my morning tweet, I talked about 22,276 as the exact number. I talked about 21,683. I talked about 21,098 in the past. So what I am trying to tell you is that these are not random numbers that I am giving it to you, जो कहीं से आ गए और मैंने आपको दे दिया. These are well documented, systematically derived numbers that I am sharing across with each one of you, and you will be able to derive it for each of your stocks that you want to trade. ये खुद के स्टॉक्स के ऊपर आप अप्लाई कर सकते हो, आप खुद के स्टॉक्स के ऊपर अप्लाई करके ट्रेड कर सकते हो. उसका पूरा सिस्टम हम बनाएंगे. साथ में गैन स्क्वायर ऑफ 9 का एक एक्सेल शीट होगा जो मैं आपको दूंगा. वो एक्सेल शीट आप साथ में शेयर करोगे मेरे साथ में, मैं आपको दूंगा, आप मेरे साथ में शेयर करोगे आपके चार्ट्स कि वो एक्सेल शीट के बेसिस पे कौन सा गैन स्क्वायर ऑफ 9 ये वाले स्टॉक पे चल रहा है. वो हम ये सारी एक्सरसाइज करेंगे ये काल चक्र में, जिससे क्या होगा, आप जब अप्लाई कर रहे हो, आई एम चेकिंग योर चार्ट, आई एम रिव्यूइंग इट, वी आर डूइंग इट टुगेदर, एंड दैट विल गिव यू द कॉन्फिडेंस. Okay, that will give you the conviction. Once you are done with that, we will have a complete trade setup. I am going to give you clearly defined rules and trade setup, which you have to apply from the very next day to trade this time cycle. And this is going to be an amazing, simplest way in which you can look at, how to trade time. Are you with me? Am I making sense to all of you? साथ में ये 2 दिन के सेशन की रिकॉर्डिंग्स भी की जाएगी दोस्तों, और ये रिकॉर्डिंग्स मैं आपको सबको दूंगा, एंड यू विल देन गो थ्रू दिस रिकॉर्डिंग्स फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ, ये रिकॉर्डिंग्स विल बी देयर फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 1 month विथ यू ऑल. There will be a follow-up session after around 10 days के बाद में एक follow-up session भी होगा, so that you can get your queries answered. There will be questions that you can post on traders forum. So we are creating an entire ecosystem. मेरा ऐप भी है, उसके ऊपर भी आप चार्ट पोस्ट कर पाओगे. So एक पूरा ecosystem बना रहे हैं हम, जिससे हर जन, people who are trading time, we call them hashtag time traders. Every single person who is trading time is a time trader. And if you apply this powerful technique correctly, you can do miraculous things. If you apply this technique wrongly, then things get little tricky. But even if you do it wrongly, you can survive well, because I'm going to give you certain methods, certain techniques, जिसके बेसिस पे आपने अगर साइकिल आइडेंटिफाई नहीं भी किया तो भी आप ट्रेड कर सकते हो. So I'm going to give you certain methods basis of centered Bollinger Bands, basis of KST, जो मेथड्स के लिए साइकिल की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर अप्लाई कर रहे हो तो ब्रिलियंट है, नहीं करना है उसके ऊपर तो भी आप ट्रेड निकाल सकते हो. दीज आर सेंटर्ड बॉलिंगर बैंड्स, KST and Pring Special K kind of an indicators, combination of that, but price action is important. So we are going to derive using that. Many a times I keep getting the question, which is, can I apply it on stocks or is it only for options? No, you can apply it on any and every stock as long as it is not moving in circuit. I have applied it even on Paytm, if you have checked my chart, and I've applied and showed it कि कहाँ से, कौन से time से I might look forward to buy it. Even if I'm applying it on 10 stocks and keeping my calendar ready, I'm going to give you an Excel sheet which says these 10 stocks, Nifty, Bank Nifty और थोड़े stocks के बारे में, with in an Excel sheet with the date, with the time, with the Gann square of 9 level. You just have to go and apply it on your trading view screen. आपको कुछ करना ही नहीं. And you can directly trade basis of that also. So point I'm trying to make is, I will give you a Ferrari and I'll give you a driver. Now it's up to you whether you want to drive it yourself or you want to enjoy it sitting next to the driver and go to the place that you always wanted to go. So here is an opportunity for every one of you who did not register last week but are here with me right now. Here is a link which my colleague has shared across. She will share it across again. Here is the opportunity to get on board one last time, one final call for people जिन्होंने अपना टाइम अभी मुझे दिया है. Suppose that we will not be able to take onboarding for this session of Kaal Chakra, and it might not happen for next 5-6 months, because then the Kaal Chakra becomes available only to the Brahmastra participants. Okay, that's how we position it. That's how we do it, because that's how it is. That's how the entire concept works, and everything comes with a price, to be honest. क्योंकि ये जो चीजें हैं, ये सीखने की वैल्यू आपको पता चलेगी जब आप सीखोगे. तो आपको लगेगा यार, मतलब इसके लिए सोचना भी था. Because a lot of time we do not understand the value of what we have until it is gone, and then you have a fear of missing out. Okay, FOMO होता है ना बहुत बार. मार्केट जब रैली नहीं कर रहा होता है, नीचे होता है, तब वो फीलिंग नहीं आती. लेकिन जब चढ़ के रैली हो जाता है, for example HDFC Bank or Paytm or these kind of stocks, you are seeing it daily falling. Now you don't want to buy. But once it rises by 20-30%, that's the time when you kick yourself, yaar, buy karna chahiye. Do not have those kind of feelings within you, because if you know the science of time, you know when these stocks will reverse, when this index will reverse. If you know that, there is no fear of missing out, and it works. That's the beauty of it. It works, guys. So take that step forward. We are having amazing time with all the participants, and they have received already. If you have not got the pre-session video, do not hesitate to contact my team. They will help you out to register and get the pre-session video link. And if you apply these concepts of time cycle, if what I have shown you, you can go back and apply to yourself. खुद से करो यार. That is how empowerment happens. That is how it works, and that is how you should do it. So take that step forward. I'm going to take a very quick poll just to see if you are with me on this path to financial freedom. I'm taking a quick poll for every one of you. And I'm open for questions, guys. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer it. Any specific question that you might have. Even though Nifty is moving up, most of the stocks are going down from past few days. Yes, I agree to that. The momentum is missing. And the reason, if you remember, it's not now. I've talked about momentum much earlier. That momentum will be less. And the reason momentum is less, because the 55-day cycle is still not on the buy side. And that's the way it works. So I'm not talking about a specific time period, Sandeep here. But if you are a part of this journey, you will be able to derive on your stock, your time cycle, because this is going to be a wonderful way of trading the market. Bank Nifty 54 days time cycle. Yes, it is here. Bank Nifty 54 days cycle is very near. So it's going to be amazing. Anand Reddy is already a part of the Brahmastra. Brahmastra is the mentorship program. Many of you are asking, what is Brahmastra? Brahmastra is the mentorship program, which is about creating traders. So my aim is about creating traders. Is it possible to do that? Absolutely, yes. We can create traders if we know the ingredients correctly. होता है ना यार, अच्छा पकवान बनाने के लिए हमें सही प्रपोर्शन में हर चीज को मिक्स करना पड़ता है. अगर नमक ज्यादा डाल दिया तो भी प्रॉब्लम है, और अगर वहां पर तेल ज्यादा हो गया तो भी प्रॉब्लम है. तो इंग्रेडिएंट को जो मिक्स करते हैं बनाने के लिए, अच्छा टेस्टफुल पकवान बनाने के लिए, वही चीज ट्रेडिंग में है. यू हैव टू मिक्स अप योर रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, मनी मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी, योर टेम्परामेंट, ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी. These are the essential ingredients and time in order to make a correct recipe to become to become a successful trader. And that's what I do in the entire Brahmastra program. Okay, does it answer your question? Question is, Vishwanath is asking, will you teach or some other trainer? It's only me, because as of now I believe that you people are with me, and I form some kind of intimacy with everyone that I am associated with. I really, really want to share across what I know, how it is working for me. It will work for you. That's what I do, Vishwanath. So, and that can happen only if I do it. That's my take right now. So अभी तो मेरी वैसी सोच है, आगे का पता नहीं, फ्यूचर का पता नहीं, लेकिन this is how I think it works, and this is how it is. This is how it can be passed on in a correct way. So that's how I am doing it. That's how it is working for me. Another question here is, sir, if Uma Maheshwar is asking, I'm a beginner, what is your advice to me? Uma Maheshwar, see, if you are a beginner, time concepts जो मैं आपको सिखाने वाला हूँ, this time concepts are applied, can be applied very independent to everything that you have done or not done. Okay, you can combine these time concepts with your existing method. You can do it independently, or you are just a fresher and want to apply it as a complete trading system. You can do that, and you can definitely apply it as a complete trading system even if you are a beginner. So you don't have to worry. So I would suggest, as a first step, being a beginner also, is to take this part, see how it works, see the concepts that I'm going to share across, share your learnings with me. I'm going to help you out to apply it correctly, and we will do it together. That's how it is. Or else, if you want to be a part of Brahmastra, up to you, whatever works for you. Okay. Where are the videos that you talked about? The videos will be shared across on my website platform. Links of the videos will be given to you. The bonus videos will be given to you, which will be there on my website platform, and everything will be shared across to you. So don't worry about that once you are a part of this. Okay, I can see over here, Vishal is saying, sir, I registered for the program, how to get access? As I said just now, glad to get you on board for Time Trader for Kaal Chakra. You will be getting the links. My team will have the details about you, and you will get all the links, all the details. Don't worry about it. So guys, it's amazing to have you all here. We are setting a tone to create traders so that नेक्स्ट टाइम जब आप ट्रेड कर रहे हो और शेयर कर रहे हो तो बोलोगे यार मजा आ गया ट्रेड करने में, डर नहीं लगता है. वी हैव बिकम फियरलेस trader. So that is what is required. If you become fearless, you will be able to trade much better. And time makes you fearless because now you know how to ride the time and not crushed by the time. That is how it works for you, and that is how it will happen. Okay, I'll ensure that the knowledge is transmitted in the best possible way, in the easiest way that you understand it, and we are going to do it together. That's my commitment to you. It's now I need your commitment to be there on time, to go through the pre-session video. Ensure you do that, to be ready with your questions and ask, even if it's the simplest question you need to ask in these 2 days of time. And we have limited seats only so that I am able to answer each one's query and we take it from there. और साथ में हम स्टॉक्स पे अप्लाई करेंगे, साथ में करेंगे, जिससे आप खुद देख पाओ और खुद ट्रेड कर पाओ इन मेथड्स को. And you will see the result yourself. That's what I think, as long as you are disciplined and applying it correctly. Jate jate, one final mantra that I want to tell you is that when you lose, lose less. When you make money, make a killing. If you follow this mantra, every single technique will work for you. If you don't follow this mantra, nothing will work for you. Because if you are here for 100% sure shot, it's not going to happen. But if you are here to come out with a probability of making money, you understand the concept and you know the risk and you can get out on your stop loss, then you will be able to make money. That's how it works. And no one talks about this most important aspect or most important mantra, but ये मेरे लिए काम करता है तो आपके लिए भी करेगा. आज के लिए इतना ही दोस्तों, धन्यवाद जुड़ने के लिए. आई एम श्योर यू लर्न समथिंग न्यू टुडे एज वेल, and have a wonderful time. Become a wonderful trader. See you on a Saturday at 10 a.m. It's going to be 6 hours each day. It's going to be a fabulous ride that you are going to have with me on the concepts of time cycle. And this is just the beginning of transformation in each one of you. Thank you very much. Ashish Kyal signing off.